If you're planning on buying a home, this is my not to-do list. The things you absolutely need not to do if you want to successfully buy your home. In my real estate videos, I always share my best practices, but this video is about the things you need to avoid doing if you want to buy a house. And what I'll do to help you explain my points is that I'll share with you those errors that you need to avoid, but I'll share with you some real life events and how my clients, my sellers, my clients that want to sell their properties react when buyers make those kinds of errors. You'll see, I think it's going to be pertinent for you guys. Error number one, not having a perfect letter of mortgage pre-approval. I'll use an example. A couple of weeks ago, I had 6 different offers on my client's house. My client's been a friend of mine. I've been selling his house for the last 10 years. He's a really conservative guy. He doesn't like to waste his time. He's got a background in finance and accounting. So when I sell his house, he doesn't like to have promise to purchase that are filled with errors. He likes when it's a good offer, easy to read, no errors. So that's the type of client I have. So I call him hey, we got 6 offers. We meet at my conference table at my office. 6 offers nowadays is really good because we're not in the COVID market. The COVID has really slowed down. So when I call him, say, hey, we got 6 offers, he was happy, I was happy. But now is the time for us to look at those 6 offers. And I'll explain why having a perfect letter of mortgage pre-approval is a challenge these days. Out of the 6 offers, 2 of them had no pre-approval whatsoever. My client sees oh, Gabriel, let's not even look at those offers. I don't even want to look at them because they had a conditional, it was conditional on the financial approval by a bank, but they had no pre-approval. She's like, I don't want to look at those. So those buyers had wasted their time visiting, making an offer because he just not interesting. There was 2 other offers that had a mortgage pre-approval letter, but those letters dated back to 6 months ago. Myself was like, hey, Gabriel, that's not serious because the buyers, he could have lost a job, he could have bought some furniture on credit, he could have increased the balance of his credit card. There's tons of things that could have happened. And on top of that, interest rates have gone up. So this letter is saying that he's pre-approved for 600, but I'm not so sure because 6 months have passed. So he's like, I need a recent letter of pre-approval. I don't have the time to call their bank to say if it was up to date. He's like, that's not serious. So now we're down to the 5th and 6th offer. The 5th offer had a pre-approval letter, but from a mortgage broker that was unknown. My client, he works in the financial world. He's like, I've never heard about this mortgage broker. To me, I don't trust when it's a small company that hasn't, it's I wouldn't trust that company. I like when it's a financial institution that I recognize, that's been there for years. So we're down to the last one, the 6th offer. We were praying, we're like, oh God, please send us a good offer. We get this offer with a decent letter of pre-approval that was dated back to 2 weeks ago. The offer was perfect, the price was good, and we end up accepting this offer. But the bottom line story is that out of those 6 offers, 5 out of those 6 offers didn't have a perfect letter of pre-approval from the bank. The buyers wasted their time, like I said. They should have spent more time preparing to have this perfect letter of pre-approval because the pre-approval letter is like your CV, your resume when you go for a job. It has to be up to date. But those buyers and their brokers didn't take the time to have this perfect letter of approval. So please, do not make this error of presenting an offer to buy a house when you don't have a letter of pre-approval that it's perfect. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Gabriel Laflamme. I've been a realtor since 2009 and every day I get calls, email, texts from people just like you. So if you have a project of buy or sell a home in the greater Montreal area, whether you live in the North Shore, South Shore, even in some other parts of Quebec, we cover a large territory. You call us, you send us an email, and we'll guide you from A to Z so that your transition is as smooth as possible. Error number 2, not taking the time to present your offer face to face. Recently, I had a client that was living about an hour north of Montreal. We get 5 offers, which is really great because we're not in a COVID market nowadays. We're in a slower kind of market. We sit down at the seller's table, and out of those 5 offers, 3 only sent us the offer by email. Did not even call us to present their offer, the clients who was buying. There was only 2 offers that one showed up at the house to present the offer. The broker presented their clients. They had a video, a letter, and all that to warm up the negotiation, to add some human side to the negotiation. The other one could not show up, but we did a FaceTime. He presented his client on the FaceTime. The clients were almost crying. I'm not even exaggerating because they've been wanting this type of house, and they were the lady was pregnant, and like this would be the perfect house for us. We finished the 2 presentation. My clients looks at me, he's like, I don't want to sell to those 3 offers. I want to sell to those 2 that took the effort to talk to me, to present why they liked the house. What is it about the house they liked? What was their family situation, and what was the plan for them to have kids and all that? Just to humanize, to talk like we did like maybe a couple of decades back, but that's exactly what she liked. It's just like all the offers are pretty much the same in terms of the price, plus or minus 5,000. So I'd rather go with an offer that I feel good deep down inside. During COVID, people were, looking at the price because, price was really important during COVID. But now in a regular market, people tend to put more importance on who's buying, why are they buying, are they a good person, do I have a good feeling, to what family do I want to transfer my property. Of course, if you only have one offer, you don't have the luxury of choosing. But if you have more than one offer, most of the time, human beings will look for the warmest type of offer. So do not make the error of just presenting your offer by email. Error number 3, lacking this good faith. What I mean by that, when you make an offer, it's always conditional to an inspection. And some buyers will present an offer, and their buyers will present the offer along with their agent. And I always like to ask them a question when they're not expecting it. I'll ask the agent or the buyers, hey, you're planning to buy the house at this price. Are you planning to renegotiate the price after the inspection? And then I wait for the response. Some will say, it's as if they're being caught. Some will say, oh, absolutely not. We just want to make sure the house is in good condition. Some will say, you know what? Yes, we were thinking maybe of negotiating. And when I say that the error is not having this good faith, is that some buyers will say, oh, we don't want to negotiate. But then down the line, they negotiate aggressively for things that are minor. So if you're planning to negotiate, why don't you negotiate at first by bringing some arguments, not at using the inspection clause? And I want to be clear, if you do the inspection and you find something major, of course, I'm going to recommend my seller to fix the problem or to give the buyer's pricing arrangement so that the buyer can do the repairs. But when it's minor, there's no justification for the seller to bring the price down. And this doesn't show good faith. It's as if it's not like, and people don't like that. They like to deal with somebody that they feel is honest. And when you don't have this good faith in real estate, it's never successful. You rather negotiate at first, bring some arguments. If there's something major, then you can negotiate. But if it's minor, you'll never be successful if you try to go like a snake and try to negotiate using the inspection clause. People don't like that. Error number 4, not being fully prepared. What I mean by that is that I often get offers on my sellers' houses, and I speak to the buyer's agent, and sometimes they're the buyers themselves. When I receive a couple of offers, I look at their clauses within the offer. Okay, there's an inspection clause, there's a financing clause, and I might ask questions like, hey, I see you have an inspection clause. Who's your inspector? And sometimes I'll say, I'm not sure. Have you looked at availabilities to book an inspection the next couple of days? No, but I would have to do that. Okay. And as for the financing, have you spoken to your banker lately? It's like, no. Okay, good. So I can tell from the answers that they haven't spoken to the inspector, they haven't spoken to their banker. And what I like to see personally is when somebody, a buyer or a broker's agent, will tell me, I spoke to my banker just an hour ago. Here's his card. You can talk to him after the meeting. He's open to receiving your call. That sends the message that you're controlling every different steps that it's along the way. You haven't let anything to chance. It's all planned up in advance. Same thing for the inspection. I like to see when somebody says, okay, I have an availability tomorrow afternoon. The day after would be in the morning, and this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, he's got 2-3 options depending on you. Here's the card of the inspector, okay? And I've written on the other side of the card, every single spot he's available. So you pick the one that's best for you. In other words, if you want to buy a house, don't improvise. Make sure that you know all the different steps and be fully prepared in advance. Don't let the other side decide for you, because people don't like when it's not clear and precise, especially in real estate, because you're touching the emotion of the seller that's trying to sell. And he wants to be reassured that you know what you're doing. Error number 5, aggressively negotiating the price. It's okay to negotiate if you have arguments, of course. If you're buying a house that needs some repairs, it's all right. If you're buying a house that's been sitting on the market for 12 months, that's all right. But when I say aggressive negotiation is when you have this perfect house, well kept, that's just arrived on the market a couple of days back. It reminds me of my client. One of my clients, a real gentleman. He's really calm. He's educated. He never raises his voice. He calls me to sell his house. That was like a year before COVID. I show up to his place. I list the house at $500. The house was worth about, I'd say, $485 to $490. That was the range. So we had a little room for negotiation. But I get this agent. He comes with his buyer. He calls me, Gabriel, I got an offer to make, but it's really aggressive. I'd like to present it to your seller. I'm like, really? You know my style. I list close to the real value because I don't like to waste people's time. So if you don't have arguments, I'm telling you, it's gonna be tough. My seller will be mad. The buyer does not show up to the conference room. I mean, his agent, he shows up. We set up a meeting the next day. So my seller is there with his wife. I'm in the middle, and the buyer's agent is right there. He presented the offer, 10% below asking, $450 on an asking price of $500. My seller, he becomes red. He starts swearing. You know, I felt like I was a MMA referee and I was like making sure nobody was gonna fight. So I take the buyer's agent outside in the conference room. I'm like, hey man, I told you, how can you expect my seller to react positively to an aggressive offer? It doesn't work like that. I've never seen in my career somebody say, oh, no problem, I don't mind, oh, that's all right, because it's their baby. They've been living in a house for like 15 years, and you're trying to show them that their house is not worth what we're asking for. And you know, I told you before, we have the comps to show that it's the price we're asking is the price, almost the price it's worth. So basically what happened down the line is that this agent came back 2 days ago. You know, at first myself was like, I don't want to sell to this guy. I don't want to hear anything about that guy again. I let him read for 2 days to calm down. 2 days later, the buyer's agent comes back with a letter from the buyer saying, I'm so sorry. He brings a gift. We end up finalizing the deal at $495. But the bottom line story is that the buyer paid $495. He could have bought $485. So he paid more money because he used the route of being aggressive. Had he been like more human, he could have got a better price. So if you're planning on buying a house, please don't use the aggressive style when you're negotiating. So this is it, guys. I hope you liked the video. If you like videos like that, stick around because I got more coming. Take good care. I'll see you in the next video.